Take down the problem. Design a counterfort type retaining wall to the following considerations. Height of wall above ground level, it should be 5.5 meters. P0, that is safe bearing capacity of soil, 180 kilonewtons per meter square. Phi, angle of repose, it is 30 degrees. Gamma, unit weight of soil, 18 kilonewtons per meter cube. Spacing of counterfort, it is not been given. Then coefficient of friction between soil and concrete equal to mu, that is 0.5. We have to adopt M20 concrete and Fe415 steel. Have you taken?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the given data is there. That is this given data. That is the height of retaining wall above the ground. Small h equal to 5.5 meters. Then P0, that is SBC of soil, 180 kilonewtons per meter square. Phi is given as 30 degrees. Gamma is 18 kilonewtons per meter cube. Mu is 0.5. FCK 20 newtons per mm square. And Fy 415 newtons per mm square. So this is the given data from the problem. Let us now go for the geometrical considerations. Very similar to whatever the design part we have done with the cantilever. So same thing we have to repeat in the first step. That is the geometrical considerations we have to do. So that is the dimensions of the retaining wall has to be fixed out here in this step. So that is the minimum depth of foundation we'll be calculating. So minimum depth of foundation is given by df equal to K square into P naught divided by gamma. So K, we have to calculate the value of K. K is been given as 1 minus sine phi divided by 1 plus sine phi. So I think 30 degrees, for 30 degrees it comes about 0.33. Just check it out whether it is 0.33. 1 minus sine phi plus 1 divided by 1 plus sine phi. 1 minus sine phi divided by 1 plus sine phi.
Yes, sir.
0.33. So df, calculation of df, that is 0.33 square into 180 divided by 18.
1.089.
1.
08.
Just check it, 1.11 or 1.08.
1.089.
1.08. Okay. So provide the depth of foundation more than this value. Round figure I have taken it as 1.3 meters depth of foundation below ground level. So it will be 1.3 meters we have taken. Then overall height of retaining wall will be equal to, below the ground level it is 1.3 and above the ground level it is 5.5. It has been given. Okay, so here it is been given here. That is above ground level it should be 5.5. So overall height of retaining wall will be equal to 5.5 plus 1.3. So this will be equal to 6.8 meters. So height of retaining wall is 6.8 meters. Then width of base slab. So width of base slab is to be taken between 0.48 to 0.56 h. So maximum value we will be taking so that our remaining checks whatever we are going to take, they will be satisfied. So 0.56 into 6.8. Just check it out. What is the width of slab?
3.8.
0.56 into 6.8.
3.81.
3.8 meters.
3.808.
808. So 3.8 meters. So we'll assume it as we will provide more than this value, round figure, that is the base of width of base slab equal to 4 meters. B equal to 4 meters. We'll consider it as 4 meters. Okay. So next one, that is the toe projection. So toe projection, it should be equal to 0.2 into 0.2 to 0.3 B. So I will be taking it as 0.25 B. B is nothing but 4 meters we have taken, calculated here. So it will be 4 meters. So 0.25 into 4.
1.
0.8, sir.
0.25 into 4.
1, sir.
Will be equal to 1 meter. So 1 meter. Then thickness of steam and depth of slab both will be same. Thickness of steam and depth of slab both will be same. It should be taken as h by 25. H by 25, 6.8 divided by 25. The overall depth of retaining wall, we have taken it as 6.8 meters, or it has been calculated by as 8.5 meter, 6.8 meters. Sorry. So h divided by 25, that is 6.8 divided by 25. Just check it whether 0.272.
Yes, sir.
0.272. So d will be equal to 0.72 plus cover, that is 0.312 meters, plus 40 mm as cover. I have assumed it is 40 mm as cover. So 272 plus 40 equal to it is 0.272 plus 0.4, whether it is 0.312.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have assumed it as 315 mm. So you can take it more than this. Okay, so it should be around about 3.35 or something like that. Okay, so that your checks will be satisfied for the shear and all. Okay, so now I have taken it as 315 because I wanted to design the shear reinforcement. So that particular part has to be covered. So for that purpose, I have taken it as minimum, that is d equal to 315 mm. So d equal to small d, that is the effective depth, will be equal to 315 minus 40. Just check it. 275 mm. 315 minus 40. 275 mm. Okay. So this is the design considerations we have done related to steam base slab, toe in that base slab, toe and hill projection also we have considered. So this is the diagram for that. So this is 5.5 meters. This is 1.3 meters. That is the depth below the ground level. This is the depth above the ground level. Then the depth of or the thickness of the slab, it is 0.3. Here we have calculated it 0.315. Similarly for the steam also we have provided the same. So here we are not going for the tapered. Okay, so we are not going for the tapered steam because we are going to provide the contour forts. We are going to provide the contour forts. So for that reason we are providing a rectangle section. Okay, a rectangle section for the steam, not a trapezoidal section. Okay, so then the toe projection we have calculated it as 1 meter. Toe projection we have calculated as 1 meter. This is 0.315. This is 1.315. Total, I think it is 4 meters. Total width of slab it is 4 meters. P is 4 meters. Just check it out whether this particular hill projection it is 2.685. 4 minus 0.315 minus 1. 4 minus 0.315 minus 1. This remaining distance will be
2.685.
Yes, sir.
685, correct.
2.685. Okay, so this is the distance 2.685. Total overall depth 6.8 meters. Okay, so the steam and slab, in that slab thickness as well as length we have calculated. Here the height it has been given already. Then the depth of foundation we have calculated. Then toe projection, and after that lastly we have calculated the hill projection. The remaining part is related to the contour fort, the dimensions of contour fort and its spacing we have to identify. Okay, so contour fort will be a thin slab, vertical slab, which is being provided from here to here. Okay, so the thickness of this slab has to be considered, or it has to be calculated, as well as the spacing between the contour forts has to be calculated. Okay, so that part we will calculate. So spacing of contour fort is being given by L equal to 3.5 h divided by gamma raised to 0.25. Raised to 0.25 or 1.1 by 4, raised to 1 by 4 or raised to 0.25. Okay, so h is 6.8, gamma is 18. Just replace the values. 3.5 into 6.8 divided by 18 raised to 0.25.
2.74.
2.74. Just check it out. Others.
2.74.
2.74. Okay, so it is 2.74. So 2.74 will provide the spacing as 3 meters. I don't want to make it safe, so I have provided more than that. You can provide 2.5 also. Okay, so the range will be, it should be less than this value. I have provided more than this value because I don't want you to make it safe. I want to go for the shear, this one, shear reinforcement and sliding reinforcement calculation. So for that reason, I have taken it more. Okay, so you can take it as 2.5 to 2.75, any value. Okay, 2.5 to 2.75 if the range is this. Okay, so we have provided here the spacing L equal to 3 meters. Then width of contour foot, the width of contour foot, that is the thickness of contour foot, is being given by 0.03 h. 0.03 h, that is 0.03 into 6.8. that will be the thickness of contour foot. Let's check it out. What is this value?
0.204.
0.204.
0.204 meters. Okay, so if it is in meters, in millimeters, it will be 204 millimeters. Okay, so it will be equal to 0.204 meters. That is, we will be providing the thickness of slab of contour foot is equals to 0.3 meters. The thickness of contour foot is 0.3 meters, or the width of contour foot as 0.3 meters. Okay, so this is the geometrical considerations related to contour foot. Okay, then check for stability. The second step, that is the check for stability. So the same check we have to take for the stability, that is the check for overturning, check for sliding, and check for no tension. So these three checks are to be considered for the check for stability. So before going for the check for stability, we have to calculate what are the loads and the movements acting over this particular retaining wall. Okay, so for that we'll consider the load W1. So in this diagram you can see load W1, that is the dead load of steam up to this portion. Then W2 is the dead load of this portion, that is the slab portion. Okay, and then W3 is the soil on the hill portion, W3, and the soil on the toe portion, that is W4. Okay, so these four forces are acting. There is no surcharge or there is no traffic load given in the numerical. If they are being given, we have to consider accordingly. So if there is a surcharge, what will happen here? If there is a surcharge, what has to be done? If there is a surcharge, okay, so that is the sloping soil is being provided here over this particular retaining wall, what has to be done? K value will be changed. So K will become here K dash. Okay, so that is the only difference here. Then if the traffic load is there, then one more W will be there, that is the traffic load. So that has to be considered. Okay, so we'll go one by one. So first of all, W1. So load W1, dead load of the steam. So per meter length. So it will be equal to area into, or the volume into density. Volume will be equal to per meter length. So one, it will be 0.315, that is the thickness, and this height, what will be this height? Total is 6.8. Total is 6.8. I want the height from here to here.
6.485. 6.485.
6.485. You have subtracted 0.315. That is, this thickness is to be subtracted. Okay, so the length, the load will be equal to 0.315 into 6.485. 6.485 into density of concrete. So density of concrete is 25. So let us check it. 0.315 into 6.485 into 25, that is the density of concrete. Just check it. That is the load in kilometers.
51.6.
Whether it is 51.06.
51.06, sir.
51.06. Okay. Okay. So where it will be acting? It will be acting at the center of the steam. It will be acting at the center of the steam. From this point, what will be the distance? from this point, what will be its distance here? It will be equal to 1 meter, 1 meter plus this point 315 divided by 2. That is the half of this particular thickness of steam. So total distance will be equal to 1 meter plus 0.315 divided by 2.
1
0.1575, sir.
Point
1.1.
1.1 1
1.157.
it will be equal to 1.175 or 1.157.
1.157.
1.157.
1.157, sir.
1.157. Okay, so by mistake I have written it as 0, so it should be 1.157. Okay, 1.157. So just calculate the movement, whether it is 59.1,
Yes, sir.
59.10.
Yes, sir.
59.10. Okay, so that is the movement which is from the dead load of steam. Okay, so similarly we will calculate the value of W2. So W2, this force, that is the dead load of this particular base slab, dead load of the base slab. So we have to calculate the dead load of the base slab. So the thickness we are knowing, it is 0.315, and what is this length?
4 meter.
3 meter.
It is
4 meter.
4 meter. So it will be equal to 0.315 into 4 into 1 meter, that is per meter length we are calculating, into 1 meter, into density of concrete, it is 25. 0.315 into 0.315 into 4 into
31.5.
31.5.
31.5. Okay, so where it will be acting? Where it will be acting? At the center
4/2.
of this total length, that is the 4 meter. Okay, from this point we are considering. Okay, so it will be equal to 4 divided by 2. So 4 divided by 2. So it will be equal to 2. Just check the this one movement. 31.5 into 2, 63.
Yes, sir.
63.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it is
Yes, sir.
63. Moment is 63, which is in kilonewtons meter. Okay, so now W3, that is the dead load of soil on hill. Dead load of soil on hill means this portion. Up to this portion, whatever the dead load of the soil will be there, that we have to consider on the hill. Okay, so that is W3. So again, area into density or volume into density per meter we are calculating. So it will be equal to 2.685. That is the width, 2.685. Height will be equal to, what will be this height?
6.485.
6.485. 6.485 into 2.685 into what is the unit weight of soil given? Gamma,
18.
18.
it is 18. Okay, so the W3, value of W3, calculate 2.685 into 6.485 into 18.
313.4.
313.42.
313.42. Okay, so now where it will be acting, this force, where this force will be acting? So from this portion, at the center of this span, at the center of this span. Okay, so at the center of this span, from this particular point. Okay, so the total distance from here to here, W3, where it will be? It will be equal to 1 meter plus this thickness, that is 0.315 plus 2.685 divided by 2. Center of this one.
2.65, sir.
2.65.
0.315 plus 2.685.
2.6.
2.65.
2.65.
2.65. Okay, so that is the dead load of soil on hill. So multiply this distance into the load, calculate the movement, whether it is 832.91.
Yes, sir.
313.42 into 2.657.
814. 814.68.
832.91 into 2.65. 832.75 or something like that. 832.75
Yes, sir.
or 91. 832, this value is correct.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 832.91 you can take or 75 you can take. Okay, so due to the what you can say, this digits after the decimal point, due to that reason this value, some after the decimal some values will be changing. Okay, so W4, that is the load due to this soil, okay, on the toe, soil on the toe, so that also we have to consider. So that is W4. So this W4 will be equal to, what is this W4? This length, that is 1 meter, then height will be equal to, what will be the height here?
0.985.
It will be equal to 1.3 minus 0.315.
0.985.
0.985. So the dead load of soil will be equal to, dead load of the soil will be equal to volume into thickness, volume 1 meter per length we are considering. So it will be equal to 1 into 0.985 into what is the density of soil?
18.
18 into 18.
17.73.
17.7.
17.73. Okay, so this calculation I have done here. So 17.73. Where it will be acting? From this point. Where this W4 is acting? From this point or from this face?
1 by 2.5.
It will be equal to 1 by 2, half of this span. Okay, so that is 1 divided by 2, that is 0.5. So if it is 0.5, just check is the calculation.
8.865.
8.865.
8.865.
8.86.
8.865. So calculate the total load, whether this value is correct. 413.71. That is the total load. All the forces are vertical forces towards downward side. So all are positive here. All are in the downward direction. So all are positive. Let's go for
413.71.
413.71. Similarly, calculate the movements, total movement.
2.875.
963.71.
963.71. Anybody with different answer?
63.86.
963.86. Anything different answer?
No, sir.
Okay. So is it clear up till this part?
Yes, sir.
Anybody is having doubts? Shall we continue?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what is the horizontal thrust we are going to calculate? So horizontal thrust pH is given by 1/2 base into height. So base is Ka gamma h. Okay. So in this figure you can just see this horizontal force we are calculating. Horizontal force, horizontal thrust, total thrust we are calculating. So it will be acting 0 at the top of the steam and maximum at the bottom. Okay. So due to that reason, it will be like a triangular section. It will be like a triangular section, 0 at the top, maximum at the bottom. So this value will be Ka gamma h. This value, maximum value will be Ka gamma h. Okay. So what will be the formula for calculating the load now here? If this is a rectangular section, if it is a triangular section. What will be the formula here for the triangular section?
Half into base into height.
Half into base into height. So half, 1/2 into base, that is Ka into gamma h. What is the height? What is this
6.8.
height?
6.8.
6.8.
6.8 means it is again H only. Okay, so it is again H, that is capital H. So for that I have taken this formula as 1/2 K into gamma H into H. Okay, so that is H square. So just go for the calculation, replace the values. K is 0.33 we have calculated. 1 minus sin phi divided by 1 plus sin phi. By that formula we have calculated this value. Gamma is given as 18 and height we have calculated it as 6.8. So 1/2 base into height. Tell me what is
137.33.
horizontal thrust, PH.
137.
137.33. Whether it is same, 137.33.
Yes, sir.
So overturning
Yes, sir.
movement here now will be due to this thrust. Overturning will be due to this thrust, and restoring movement will be this movement. Okay, this will be the restoring movement, and this will be the this whatever the load is there, due to this there will be a overturning movement. Okay, so this overturning movement we have to calculate. So movement is given by force into distance. So where it will be acting from this phase? From this phase, where it will be acting? This thrust in the horizontal direction. This horizontal direction, where the resultant of this total force will be acting from the bottom.
1/3 into 6.85. 6.8.
It will be acting from the base where it will be acting.
1/3 into H.
People, where it will be acting?
Center, sir.
Center. Rajanya, where it will be acting?
1/3 of base, sir.
1/3 of base. Ravi Kumar, where it will be acting?
1/3 of 8, sir.
1/3 of
8.
1/3 of okay, so it will be acting at from this base it will be acting 1/3 of this height. 1/3 of this height. Okay, so not base, 1/3 of height. Okay, base will be this base. K into gamma is the base. Okay, so from here we are asking, so it will be acting at 1/3 of this height, that is H. 1/3 of H, that is 6.8. So the moment, overturning movement, can be calculated as 137 in 0.33, 137.33 into the distance, that is 68.3. 6.8 divided by 3. 137.33 into 6.8 divided by 3. Calculate MO, that is overturning movement.
311.28.
311.28.
311.28.
311.28 kilonewtons meter. Okay, so this is the overturning movement. Okay, so now the overturning movement has been calculated. We are having the restoring movement. We have to see whether it is satisfied the check for overturning. Okay, so as per the clause number 20.1, who will be reading for me? Clause number 20.1 of IS 456. Who will be reading for me? It is on page number 33. Page number 33, IS 456. Those who don't want to read, they can leave. Abhishek Gudodgi, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Open the IS code, IS book, IS 456.
Yes, sir.
Page number 33, clause number 20.1.
Just a minute, sir.
Read this clause.
Yes, sir. Sir, page number 33, sir.
33, clause number 20.1.
20.1. Overturning, sir.
Read that
The
clause.
stability of a structure as a whole against overturning shall be ensured so that the restoring moment shall be not less than the sum of 1.2 times the maximum overturning moment due to the characteristic dead load and 1.4 times the maximum overturning moment due to the characteristics imposed loads. In cases where dead load provides the restoring moment, only 0.9 times the characteristic dead load shall be considered. Restoring moments due to imposed loads shall be ignored.
Okay. So the factor of safety here required, it is 1.4. So of when the restoring moment has to be multiplied by 0.9. Okay. So restoring moment has to be multiplied by 0.9, and this value divided by overturning moment, it should be less than factor of safety should not be less than 1.4. So it should be greater than 1.4. Let us see whether it is like that. So factor of safety, that is 0.9 MR, that is the restoring moment. So this restoring moment 0.9 times we have taken, divided by MO, that is overturning moment. So 0.9 into 963.87 divided by 311.28. Calculate the factor of safety.
.78.
Factor of safety.
2.78.
Anil.
0.78, sir.
2.78. So the factor of safety, it is 2.78, which is greater than 1.4. 1.4, which is greater than 1.4, hence safe against overturning. So our whatever the dimensions we have fixed it is according to that, it will be safe for the overturning moment. Okay. So now we'll go for the check for sliding. So now check for sliding, it will be as per IS 456-2000, clause number 20.2. Clause number 20.2. So who will be reading for me 20.2? Irana? Irana Nidoni, are you there? If you will not speak, I will remove you from the meeting. Raghavendra Kumbar.
Yes, sir.
Read the
Yes,
clause
sir.
20.2, sliding.
Yes, sir.
Same page.
The structure shall have a factor against sliding of not less than 1.4 under the most adverse combination of the applied characteristic forces. In the case, only 0.9 times the characteristics dead load shall be taken into account.
Okay. So again, the factor of safety for the sliding is also 1.4. But when the loads are being considered, that load has to be considered 0.9 times only. Okay. So this load 0.9 times we have to consider 413.71. Okay. So the factor of safety here in our case will be equal to factor of safety load. It is summation of W into mu, that is coefficient of friction, into 0.9. 0.9 times we have to take it. Okay, so 0.9 into summation of W into mu divided by pH. So just check it out. What is the factor of safety here? 0.9 into 413.71 into 0.5 divided by 137.33.
1.355.
1.37.
1.35.
1.35. Okay, so 1.35 it is less than 1.4. But according to clause number 20.42, what it should be? It should be more than 1.4. So it is less than 1.4. Hence, what has to be done now?
Shear key.
Shear key.
We have to provide shear key. Okay, we have to provide shear key. If this thickness of the slab, if it would have been 0.35, now we have taken it as 0.315. If you would have taken it 3.5, so this check would be satisfied. This check would have been satisfied. But I don't want it. I wanted to create a case that where the shear key has to be provided and how that design is to be considered. One more type I wanted to take, so that is why I have taken it the lesser value. Okay, so the check has not been satisfied. We have to go for the design of shear key also, or we have to provide the shear key also. Okay, so let us see in the further part. That is check for no tension. Now the check for no tension we have to consider. So the net movement at the toe has to be calculated. So net movement will be equal to restoring movement minus overturning movement. So restoring it is 963.87 minus 311.28. So just check it out whether the net movement it is 652.59.
Yes, sir.
652.59. It is the net movement at toe. Okay. So now let us calculate the x bar distance. That is the distance from the toe to the point where the resultant cuts the base. That is x bar distance. So x bar is given as summation of w into x bar equal to m. That is the net movement. Okay. So summation of w. What is the value of summation of w? Summation of w, I think it is 413.71.
Yes, sir.
413.71 and into x bar has to be calculated, and m net movement here we have calculated it as 652.59. So the remaining value or the unknown value is only x bar. Just calculate the x bar. X bar equal to
1.57.
1.57.
1.57 meters. 1.57 meters. The x bar distance is 1.57 meters. Okay, so now let us calculate the eccentricity E. Eccentricity is being given as B by 2 minus x bar. B by 2 minus x bar. So B is 4 meters. I think the width of base slab we are taking it as 4 meters. 4 divided by 2 minus x bar 1.57.
0.43.
0.43.
4 divided by 2 minus 1.57.
0.43, sir.
0.43. So eccentricity is 0.43 meters. Okay. So we have to go for the check. So B by 6, the value of B by 6, that is 4 by 6, should be equal. It is equals to 0.66. Just check it out.
Yes, sir.
4 divided by 6, whether it is 0.66.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this value is greater than the eccentricity. This value, that is B by 6, is greater than the eccentricity. Hence, it is safe against the tension also. Hence, we are safe against the tension. Okay. So now the 3 checks we have taken. One is the check for overturning, another one is check for sliding, and the third one check for no tension. Okay. So out of that, 2 checks have been satisfied. That is the check for overturning and check for no tension has been satisfied. But the check for sliding has not satisfied. So we have decided to go for the design of shear key. Okay. Then now this calculation has been completed. Now we can go with the calculation of stresses at base. Stresses at base, that is sigma max and sigma minimum. So sigma max, value of sigma max is being given as summation of W divided by B into bracket 1 plus 6E divided by B. So summation of W, we are knowing the summation of W, it is 413.71. B, that is the base slab width 4 meters. 1 plus 6 into E, eccentricity we have calculated here 0.43 divided by again 4. Okay. So I have replaced this value in the equation. I have replaced this value in the equation. Calculate what is the sigma max.
One 70.13.
170.13.
70.13.
170.13 kilonewtons per meter square. Kilonewtons per meter square. Okay. So what will be the equation for sigma minimum?
1 minus 6e by b.
Okay. So only this positive sign will change to negative sign. This positive sign will change to negative sign. Calculate the value of sigma minimum.
36.71.
36.7.
71.
Let us see whether our value is the same. Yes, 36.71 kilonewtons per meter square. Okay, so up till here, any doubts? Anybody is having doubt?